Hey guys, my name is Lexi, and this is a Sincerely Self podcast. I just wanted to really quickly acknowledge the fact that we had two guests the last couple weeks, so it's been a long time since it's been you and I, me and you, here in my room, and just having a little girl talk. I hope you guys love the guests. I will have a few more coming in the next following weeks because I've had a lot of people that I've wanted to reach out to, and I'm kind of getting over my fear of doing more of the interview style podcasts. I think it's really, really fun to get to be with other people and kind of have them tell their story, and you get a feel of their energy and everything like that. So it has been super fun, and I'm excited for all the collabs coming up. But I am also excited to have a little just girl talk, sit down episode. With that being said, this episode will probably not be, maybe will not be as long as the others, but we're having a little like yap sesh this time, so we're really just gonna see. Also, side note, I've been having this and this has happened a few times to me, where if I'm really stressed or a little bit sleep deprived, I get an eye twitch, and it is this eye, my right eye, and it'll twitch right. If you're on the YouTube, you can see where I'm pointing to. It'll twitch right here a wee bit. Actually, let me sit a little closer. So if you see it twitch, yeah, I don't know. It's not doing it a ton today. The last couple days was a lot worse. It's not too bad today. So we'll manage. First thing I want to address in this episode is my One Direction girlies. How are we feeling this week? I am really thinking of all of you as someone who grew up loving One Direction, literally was obsessed from X Factor onward. I bought every single CD, I had the board game, I had the PJs, I bought the Teen Beat magazines so that I could have the posters of them. I had the fan accounts of the girlfriends like Perry and Zayn, you know what I mean? I was a One Direction girly. My Facebook, when I first got Facebook, I was like 13, I think, 12 or 13, and the beginning parts of my Facebook is all One Direction. All One Direction. A lot of my friendships, my lifelong friendships, were founded on the mutual interest in this band. And if you didn't hear somehow, Liam Payne from One Direction has passed away this week. It does not feel real. I'm recording this on Thursday, so this will be uploaded on Friday, and Liam passed away on Wednesday. I literally cannot fathom. I was picking up my boyfriend when I found out, and I was waiting for him in my car, and I'm scrolling on TikTok, and then I literally gasped. My heart literally dropped. And I think from what I've seen on TikTok, a lot of the girls are kind of feeling the same, the fangirlies and the fanboys who have loved One Direction from when they were little. Like, it is such a different feeling to be in your 20s now and having to like go to your work and mourning the loss of someone that you loved growing up. I know like other generations have had their versions of this with like Michael Jackson, Elvis, all of those. But this is like, I did not think anyone from One Direction would die until I was like old. And I am not old, and Liam was not old. And I don't know, I feel like also sometimes these type of events kind of trigger the feeling of all of the losses that you've had. So like my uncle passed away around the same age as Liam, and that was about 4 years ago, but it brought up the emotions of just like how quickly somebody can go in an accident and you don't know. And we're gonna like dive into this, but like the first thing that I want to kind of go and talk about a little bit is just like mourning something like that, like mourning something that like 10-year-old you would have, like, it would have shattered that version. Like, if you told 10-year-old me that Liam Payne passed away, I would be in shambles. I would not be okay. I remember watching like the One Direction funny moments on YouTube, and like it is so weird when someone that you feel like kind of raised you in a way, like helped you grow up, is just gone. And in the manner that he is gone is like so crazy. And I don't know, if you don't know how Liam passed away, I really think it had a lot to do with mental health issues that he was suffering from. And it brings up the conversation of like, why don't we talk about these things sooner? Like a week before he passed away, he his ex-fiance was like talking on social media about her abuse experiences with him, and like I think you can mourn someone even when they're not a good person or they've done bad things, and it also opens a conversation of why did they do those bad things? Like, was it a cry for help, you know? And it is just like the weirdest feeling of nostalgia that I've been feeling like the last day. And just listening to all the old music, watching the old videos. I was watching the One Direction, like the Adventures of One Direction. If you know what I'm talking about, there are on YouTube, and it's like this cartoon version of One Direction as superheroes. And I remember when that came out on YouTube 10 years ago, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And I was rewatching it while I was doing my makeup, and it is just the weirdest feeling. And I just want to kind of tell you, if you are feeling this loss and kind of confused with it, like, you are valid for feeling the loss of this person if you liked the band. And it is so surreal. It is crazy. And I think, in a way, part of us, when you reach your 20s, you start kind of mourning your childhood and like the innocence of your childhood, and just, like being able to just like dolls and listen to whatever music you want and dress however you want, and not really caring much how anybody thinks, and not having to worry about sustaining yourself. And it is just, and being able to dress cutesy and in princess dresses. And it's like, now that I'm older, I can't do that. And now that I'm older, I have so many responsibilities. I don't do the things that I used to like to do when I was a kid. Like, I used to love to read, and I still love to read, but I hardly ever have time for it anymore. And that's on me, but it's so weird to think about missing out on the things that you grew up loving, and being an adult and having to deal with it. Like, I saw so many people posting on social media that they were listening to One Direction on the way to their like corporate jobs because now they're a grown up, but little childhood them is in mourning right now. And I think nobody talks about feeling the loss of something from your childhood. Like, some of us felt it recently with Matthew Perry from Friends when he passed away. Like, that one was also so weird because I watched the entire show of Friends. And just sudden losses like that are so, and Mac Miller, there's just so many that it's just like these people that, I mean, obviously, that they will die one day, like we all do, but you never think it'll be so soon. And it is just such a weird thing to process. And I think this, now more than anything, goes to show like how important it is to take mental health seriously and check in on your friends, because literally my heart shatters thinking of like Zayn Malik, and him and Liam had like a really, they hadn't talked in a few years. Like, Zayn really hasn't talked to a lot of the bandmates in a few years. And like, I cannot imagine the guilt he's feeling right now, and how he's feeling about the fact that he never got the opportunity to fix things with Liam. And I'm sure at some point he thought that they'd have time. Like, seeing his post today, like, if you have not seen Zayn and Louis' posts, at this point in time, Zayn and Louis and the One Direction account are the only ones who have like really posted about it. But I I cannot imagine how they're feeling. How his son is feeling. Like, his son is 7, I think, and he's gonna grow up seeing social media like the way that his dad died. Like, oh, loss is so weird, and grief is so weird. And I'm gonna kind of end that topic now. Sorry, I could talk about it forever, because like I said, I love I almost said loved. I love One Direction, and I think this kind of situation has kind of rehashed it in me, and rehashed the little girl in me who I thought had kind of outgrown it. So, stream your One Direction music, stream your Liam Payne music, and watch the Amazing Adventures of One Direction on YouTube. And just relive it a little bit. I've just been kind of doing what I think 11-year-old me would do if she heard this news. And just listening to my One Direction music and watching the videos and just reliving it. So if you love One Direction and you are also dealing with this, please message me, because I need more people to talk to about this. The next thing I kind of want to talk about in this just little girl talk sesh, there's not really a direction of where this conversation is going. I'm just kind of yapping, but just some thoughts I've accumulated over the last few weeks, that it hasn't just been us sitting in my room. The episode I did last week with Lily, Sprays by Lil, in her video that I did with her, we were talking kind of a little bit about like change and just releasing, and I think there's so many people who are going through this stage of releasing things either on purpose or things are just kind of leaving, like friendships, relationships, jobs, moving situations, whatever it may be. And I think the most important thing to remember right now is that it's for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, whether you know it now or you don't. Everything is happening for a specific reason. And being able to be like, okay, I may not really know where I'm going to go now, but I know that what's no longer serving me is out of the way and it can make room for better things. I'm going to use a little example. So I currently work as a substitute teacher. I love it. Whatever. I'll do a video on it another time. I just think it's so much fun. I could talk about it all day. I love it. But I wanted to get a second job because anybody who knows me knows I do usually work 2 jobs at a time. I like having as much money as I can. What can I say? So I've been looking for a second job to do with the subbing job, and I applied for this place, and I applied for them back in August, and then they never got back to me, and I was like, whatever. And then like 2 weeks ago, they reached out to me and they're like, sorry, we're looking at this position again. Like, are you still interested? And I really thought that was a sign from the universe that I was going to get that job. That's what I was supposed to do. I was like, wow, this job came back around to me. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then I go in for the interview and they're like, okay, like we'll get back to you in a couple days. And then I never hear anything. And then I message them and they literally leave me on red. No, because they literally left me on open. It said red at 3 o'clock. Like, oh. And I was really, really struggling with that because at first I thought God, the universe, had given me this thing and then I didn't get it. And so I've been kind of struggling with realizing that, hey, like, it's okay. Maybe that's not the thing that I was supposed to go for. Like, maybe it was something else. And this just gave me more confidence to go towards something else. So I think it's all about the way that you look at it. Because at first I was looking at it as like, man, what did I do to make them not give me this job? And then I'm kind of trying to tell myself now, like, first off, with the way that they responded to that, like, leave me on red, like, bro, just say, like, you didn't get the job. You know what I mean? It made me realize that I need to change my mindset around it. And if I view it in the way of, okay, well, this actually was not the way I was supposed to go, but I learned that I can do an interview. I learned that I can, go out and look for a job and I can find a job that works with the hours that I want. And I think I'm just going to try and look at it that way because, yeah, this is a season of change and change is scary and rejection is scary. I feel like losing a job or not getting accepted to a job can feel like loss or a rejection, but I just try to remind myself that rejection is just a redirection and everything is just going to align how it's supposed to. So if that's something that you're kind of going through right now, life is being kind of weird and you're not exactly sure which way to go and things keep kind of falling apart when you're trying to put them back together, I'm just here to remind you that we all, and this is to me too, we need to trust the process, you guys. We need to trust the process and trust that it's going in our favor. Okay? Okay. Another thing I've been struggling with is my identity. I go through this multiple times a year. I change. If you guys don't know, I have BPD, woo, and I go through manic episodes sometimes, and I just struggle with forming and grasping what my identity is. So I changed my hair a lot. I changed my job a lot. I changed my style a lot. I changed my music taste a lot. I changed things a lot. And about me, and then I go back to the old, and I don't know. I'm like, I literally just, my hair was black and now it's cut off and brown with highlights. Like, I literally, I changed myself so much. And lately I've been struggling with the fact that I did like cut my hair off and everything, and I changed my style a little bit, and now I'm going back to kind of how I was before when I had black hair, and I'm like struggling with just trying to form something that sticks to me. But I think I'm coming to the realization now that I'm supposed to be able to change things like that about myself. And it doesn't mean I don't know who I am. It just means I have a lot of things that I like and I want to try out. Because I do still love all of the things that I've done with my hair, all of the music that I've liked, all of the styles that I've done. I've loved it all. And so I think I'm kind of grasping the fact that it's okay to change things about yourself and you don't have to look the exact same all the time. But if you do want to look the exact same all the time, that's okay too, and it's probably a lot easier to maintain. So, yeah, that's another thing that I have been grasping with lately. I kind of want to keep this week's episode short and sweet, so I'm going to end it here. Just give you guys a little brief check-in. How are we doing? I'm going to be really, really active on the TikTok and the Instagram this week. I'm just planning on posting a lot of clips from the episodes and a lot of getting your guys' feedback on guests that you want to see, topics that you want to see, things of that nature. Or, like, I'm still a small podcast, you guys. Like, if you have a story that you think would go well with my audience, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you do, message me, literally message me, and tell me what you want to talk about, and we'll do it, babes. We'll literally do it. Like, if you have a life experience that you think could benefit people to learn from, message me. I will come over. I'm serious. Let me know and we will talk about it, because I like doing podcasts with people who are just like, it's not for any specific reason other than I think they're a cool person and they've experienced cool things and they have so much insight. And I love that. So if you ever want to, my DMs are open. Literally message me and we will come up with something, because I think it is so much fun to have everybody have the opportunity to teach based off of their life lessons, because we don't all experience the same things, and so it's cool to hear the experiences that other people have had. If you guys like this episode, make sure that if you are on the YouTube, that you like and subscribe. Also, go back and watch some of my old YouTube videos, because I actually have quite a few now at this point. So go back and just binge it. It's like there's a cold front over Utah. I'm looking out my window. There's a cold front over Utah right now, so a lot of us are going to be inside chilling. Binge my episodes, why don't you? Especially with all this change going on, binge my episodes, why don't you? This episode will also be available on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts. You guys know the drill. It's available on them all. So make sure you go and check those out. I always put my link tree in the description anytime I post a video. If you follow my social media, either the podcast or my personal social media, I post the episode every single week with a link that takes you directly to my link tree, and then you can watch it however you want. So make sure that you're following my Instagram, the podcast Instagram, maybe both, whatever you want. And check out the TikTok for all of those clips I'm going to be posting from past episodes. I want to get quite a few out, so they're going to be from a lot of the episodes that we've done in the last year. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. It's fall break here, so do something fun and be safe, and remember how short life is, and message them and heal things, and take the time to make sure that your friends are okay. And I will see you guys next week.